The Justin Robert Young Show, brought to you as always by everybody who pays us at payjurydaily.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. JuRY Daily, last show of the week. I can't stop thinking about something that happened earlier in the week, and I wasn't going to talk about it, but I have to talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it, have to talk about it. You guys might remember I had previously done an episode about the Drake and Pusha T beef, wherein I made the statement that Pusha T was more brutal in a rap beef than I had ever heard anybody be in my lifetime. Now, normally, brutality is the point of a rap beef, right? You know, you go back and forth, say mean things about each other. But classically, things normally stop when somebody escalates it to too far of a point. Famously, the Drake and Nas beef, one of the best in rap history, ended with the lyric, "I left condoms in your girl's baby seat." All right, so that was like, okay, you're fucking my baby mama and being gross about it. Okay. Let's end it. But something happened this week, and I know that not a lot of my audience, people listening to me right now, are going to be tuned into it. So I'm going to do my best to be the ambassador of this news. Because what I'm about to tell you guys is that Pusha T, might be the greatest tactician in history. He set a trap for Drake that was like War Games, the old movie with Matthew Broderick. The only way to win was to not play. If you go back and walk this entire situation back, Pusha T wrote a diss track about Drake on his new album that came out this summer. In hindsight, the only way that Drake got out of this the best was to not respond. Leave it there. You want to know what? He's Pusha T. He's shit on you before. Who cares? Leave it be. Everyone would have forgotten about it in a week. Drake probably still would have gotten Instagram comments for about 2 months, but that would have been it, right? Aside from that, the beef that was initially laid out by Pusha T, I'm going to introduce a few players for you. If you have no idea who the hell I'm talking about, Pusha T is a rapper. He was one half of one of my favorite groups. One of my favorite hip-hop albums of all time is Lord Willin' by the Clips. He and his brother Malice comprise the Clips. But you've always heard, if you're a fan of hip-hop, you've kind of heard these stories that Pusha T is kind of a low-key genius, that he has this pop sensibility and this greater meta worldview that, kind of breaches every once in a while. For example, here's a song written by Pusha T that you might know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. That dude wrote that jingle. That dude, Pusha T, wrote ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. You might have heard that one. Drake, of course, is Drake. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? He's in his feelings. Hold on, he's going home. Pop style. The Drakeness of it all. He's upset. He's Drake. So Drake takes the bait. Drake responds with a song called Duppy Freestyle. And it's good. It's a good diss track. Hits all the diss track milestones and makes fun of Pusha for not being rich enough, makes fun of him for being too old, makes fun of him for being the like fourth most popular person on his own record label. Good. It's a good diss track. But what we now know is it sealed his fate. Because it is now my belief that Pusha T made that first infrared song, the first song that baited Drake into this, as plain and old and retread beef as possible, just to see if he could lure him in. Just to see if he could lure him in. And Drake had an album coming out a little bit later, couldn't help but saying, you want to know what? Yeah, I'll dunk on you. Bah! Two-handed, reversed, bah! Dunked on him. What happens next is what I thought was the end of the story. Pusha T releases one of the most brutal diss tracks of all time, The Story of Adidon. The cover of The Story of Adidon is a picture that nobody had known existed, that I will show you now, of a young Drake in blackface, smiling to the camera. That was the album cover. Before anybody even plays the album, but even plays the song, you look at that album cover and you're like, what the fuck? Is that Drake? Did he get somebody to look like Drake? No. Drake has to come out on his Instagram story and his notes app and say, yeah, that's me. It was a thing that I was doing, and I was young. It was an artistic statement. Pusha T not only makes fun of Drake's mother and father, specifically his father, because he left his mother when he was, Drake's father left the family when Drake was a young boy, but then comes back with the Contra coup and says, you have a child that nobody knows about, and you are a deadbeat dad too. You're following in your father's footsteps by being a deadbeat. And then there was one moment that felt too brutal. It's kind of stapled on the end. Pusha T already eviscerates Drake. That's like just insane. Breaking news, unearthing old photos, and then there's a moment at the end when Pusha makes fun of Drake's producer, 40, who has multiple sclerosis. He said 40 hunched over the boards like he's 80. How much time he got left, that man is sick. All right. Laura Mann points out that we have already talked about this in the JuRY show, and that it's nothing new. However, I need to recap it so I can play for you the new. On HBO this weekend, Drake was on the LeBron James faux talk show. I mean, it's not a faux talk show. It is a talk show. The Shop takes place in a barber shop. And he goes through a lot of stuff. Drake doesn't do a lot of sit-down interviews. Did a sit-down interview where he talked about a lot of stuff with LeBron James. And he winds up getting to this Pusha T situation. And specifically, what pissed him off the most.
I'm going to tell you, wishing death on my friend that has MS. I study rap battles for a living. Now, when you mention defenseless people who are sick in the hospital that passed away, that really sent me to a place where, you know, I just believed then and believe now that there's just a price that you have to pay for that. It's over. You're going to get, someone's going to fucking punch you in the fucking face. The shit's done. The event's over.
I hate everyone, so shut up. Says again, how does Pusha know all this personal stuff? It is Drake's opinion, and he mentions it on the shop, that Pusha T got all of this from Kanye. That Drake had come to Kanye as a peer, and he had shared all this information about his son, about his baby mama, about his internal strife. He had trusted Kanye. He and Kanye allegedly have recorded enough material that they can release a joint album if they can ever get their record label situations in order. And it is indeed a plausible theory. It is a good operating theory that Pusha T got this from Kanye West, because Pusha T is the president of Good Music, Kanye West's record label. It makes sense. But there's just one thing that I just can't put together. Pusha T responded to Drake's appearance on LeBron James's The Shop by appearing on the Joe Budden podcast this week, in which he revealed the final, who knows, I assume it's the final stage of this, the trap for which only gets closer and closer to your death the more that you struggle. I hate everyone, so shut up. Said, how did he get this information? Well, Push told you.
The information came from 40. It didn't come from Kanye. At all.
Okay.
40 is sleeping with a woman who begins to, he talks to her daily, 5-6 hours a day.
Oh, she must have a great personality.
Yeah, bruh. Come on. Listen, talks to a woman 5-6 hours a day, provides opportunity for her.
Provides
opportunity for
He's a great guy.
and ultimately speaks about how he's disgruntled about certain things, notoriety and things involving Drake and his career, so on and so forth.
To this young lady.
Yes.
Okay.
With that also came the fact that Drake has a child. With that also came the trip that everybody took to go see the child and bring them gifts and all of this information. She divulged this information.
She has a great personality.
That's where it came from. Now,
I don't know why I find it so funny. Whenever Pusha says she divulged this information. I have never seen this intricate a plan be laid out and executed with surgical precision. Understand what Pusha did. From the very beginning, lay out old beef to coax Drake into it. Drake walked into the trap. Then Pusha gets to say something really harsh and tacks on at the end something that everybody was like, Jesus Christ, you're making fun of a dude with fucking MS? Yes, he was. Because he was hoping Drake would come back. He was hoping that somebody would come back, that Drake would come back and say, it's fucked up that you made fun of my friend with MS. So he could then pull this. The final reveal. Guess where I got all that information, motherfucker? You're the one with a rat in your mist. And it's that dude. So from the very beginning, Pusha T knew that he was going to put 40 in a situation where he either had to sacrifice his livelihood for truth or allow his confidant, his friend, and his boss to be humiliated one last time. I don't know. Like, this is diabolical. This is like the Joker in Dark Knight Returns. This is Baron Zemo in Civil War. This is Moriarty. Pusha T is the modern Moriarty. He is always 3 steps ahead. 4D chess. Pusha T. Push. Oh, my God. I can't stop thinking about, like, what a fucking diabolical trap he set up from the very first moment. Because what we have right now, TVC Gun points out, is we just have Drake out in the field. He thinks he has Pusha. Pusha's there in handcuffs. And Drake's just asking, what's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Yuck. Oh, God. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get to your emails. But, of course, it is Friday. So maybe it is time that we take a look at some of the more externalized thoughts from the multiverse. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment we like to call High Thoughts. Pizza is spelled P-I instead of P-I-E because they are circles. There's no reason the alphabet needs to be in order. Why does the word bed look like an actual bed? Ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for today. I would like to thank our producers, The Gen, PD Rave, Non-Specific, Rock and Roll Martian, Joe Acosta, Will, Redneck Tech, James, Bill, and Dustin. You can always email me, jurydaily@gmail.com, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Justin R. Young, and hashtag join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. If you're in the LA area, I'm going to be downtown this weekend at Politicon. Come on out to the dealer's room and say hello. Folks, give a big round of applause for Mr. Wacky. And until next week, please, no.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.